Some 16,000 people died in Singapore in the year 2006. That's about 50 deaths a day, or about 2 every hour. For those who were terminally ill, not everyone would have known that they were actually dying. When life matters is a tagline for Hope Ambulance. Among its services is transportation for terminally ill patients who want to be home for that final moment. For Teresa Yip, who runs Hope Ambulance, life is about being prepared for death, like when her mother died of lung cancer 13 years ago. When your mom was dying, you told your mom?
Eventually, yes. I brought her back to Malaysia because I did ask her, I said, Mom, I put it in a better way. I said, to recuperate, where would you want to be? And she said that I want to go home and I want to be among my loved ones. There are a few people that I have not seen for a long time, and I want to finish all the things that I want to do.
Are there myths about death that should be debunked?
Death is viewed as something that, not lucky, There's this element of hope, which is, it goes on until the point of time where the doctor says, okay, you just discharge and go home. So everything is so fast, there's no time to prepare.
Do dying patients actually know if that trip they're making in that Hope Ambulance would be their last?
To be very honest, I think they know. There was one gentleman who was actually in this hospital ICU. We were called by the family members that he wants to die at home. When we arrived home, there were people ready to pray, receive him. We placed him in a bed, and then he smiled, and then he touched my hand and he said, he's ready. So we removed his tube. He was on some painkillers, morphine. We left that on, and all the families were surrounding him. They held his hand. They cried together, He, in return, held up his hand. He hugged his parents. And within 10 minutes, he was gone. So it's quite a good, it's quite a gentle goodbye.
This is Jane, and this is her father, Mikhail. He died in July 2007 from lung cancer. When he was diagnosed in April, his simple wish was to live to his 80th birthday, and he did. But he also had a secret wish, and that's to meet his favorite television star, actress Joanne Peh. Joanne did come to hear of Mikhail's wish and made a special visit to the Assisi Hospice.
Dad lost his ability to speak when he came into ICC. So the only way we could communicate was through writing and expression that we see on his face. And the look on Dad's face when Joanne Peh walked in, he was just smiling from ear to ear, and he was just so surprised to see her. He had Joanne Peh's pictures on the wall. So he was glancing between the pictures on the wall and the real person. It just kept going back and forth, just to be sure that it was the right person. And he kept mouthing her name towards me. It's like, Joanne Peh? And I was like, yes, that's Joanne Peh. He held her hand, stroked her head to make sure that, okay, this is the real person. His dream was actually coming true.
2 days after Joanne's visit, Mikhail passed away, his last wish fulfilled. When your dad was first diagnosed with lung cancer. Was there ever an option not to tell him, to keep the information away from him?
No, that was never an option because it is his body. It is his right to know what he has.
And how did your father take it?
Surprisingly, he took it better than me. The first statement he made was, "Jane, don't cry. I'm still alive." That showed that to him, being told he has a terminal disease is not the end. You know, it's the beginning of walking through that final chapter. You know, there's not much time left. Let's savor the moment. Let's make sure we spend quality time together.
And so they started writing that final chapter of his life just the way they wanted it, with a short holiday to Desaru in Malaysia. Mikel learned to play pool from his grandson and beat him 7 games in a row.
On his birthday, which is about 3 months after he was diagnosed with cancer, he had his first scoop of chocolate ice cream. And he enjoyed it so much, you know, because Daddy was a very disciplined person. He watched what he ate because of his diabetes. But I think when he was aware that he didn't really have much time left, he took time to just enjoy, you know, the little pleasures of life, such as eating ice cream, which he had missed for 30 over years.
So do you feel that if your dad didn't know,
If my dad
you would have
didn't know-
been,
yeah.
you wouldn't have been able to experience all that you had?
My dad was a disciplinarian, you know. He rarely hugs, never kissed, you know, never held our hands or anything, you know. He was a strict father. So for him, you know, the final days, the final months, there were a lot of hand holdings, there were a lot of hugs, kisses, and a lot of I love yous. It meant the world to me. And, you know, these are the things that I treasure because I know that he loved me. And that's important to me.
After the break,
It's really tricky. How do you do this dying thing? I've never done it before. I don't know.